nobody can tell you what to do with your stuff. We're all about budget friendly and doing it your own way, learning together. I took a regular refrigerator, pulled out all the inserts, and drilled holes in it all the way around. Now, if I'd have had a hole saw, you know, the fitting that goes on a hole saw, I would have drilled bigger holes and done this, but I don't have one at the moment. So I just took the biggest drill bit I had, drilled holes all the way, because if you're gonna build a worm bed, and that's what this is, y'all, I told y'all these refrigerators had a purpose. I gutted everything out, I drilled holes in it. I put a piece of window screen that I got from any hardware store, should have window screen and front porch screen, anything. I put it in there. Then I took hardware cloth and put it over it. It's mainly just to keep the window screen, keeps the pests out, and the hardware cloth just keeps anything else from trying to get in. I don't know what could have got in there, maybe a roly-poly or some sort of beetles, whatever, but everybody I see puts the window screen and the hardware cloth. So I did it like everybody else, y'all. And we're balling on a budget. So I was able to buy a whole roll of window screen for a little of nothing. All this is scrap hardware cloth. I keep piles and piles of hardware cloth to my left over here, and it's just everywhere. So I was able to cut little squares out. But what I have right here is a wheelbarrow slap full of coconut coir. It is actually the husk of a coconut. That's all that hairy stuff on the outside of a coconut. And I bought two 10-pound bricks. All I did was fill the wheelbarrow up with water. I took one 10-pound block of coconut coir, and let me tell y'all something. I couldn't have put two in here. As it rehydrates, it swells and gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And this hasn't rehydrated enough just yet, but in the video, before this video's over, you'll see where I actually put it in here. You just want damp. Now, I have stirred this around again, and as I can see, it is getting bigger and bigger. Hopefully y'all can see quite a bit of it, but it is almost to the top of this wheelbarrow. Now, what you do is grab a handful of it and squeeze it as tight as you can and get as much moisture as you can out, and you'll flop it down inside this refrigerator. I just wanted y'all to know that your boy Maniac got off a little bit early. I'm used to working 14 hours, 12, 14 hour days, and when I get off early, I try to come home and get stuff going. So my wife came out here, filled the wheelbarrow up about halfway with water, because she wasn't sure, she didn't know how it worked, but halfway with water. So by the time I got here, that whole 10-pound brick had swelled out really far, but it was still flat because there wasn't enough water. So I made sure that I filled, we don't want to waste that. Your boy Maniac is spilling coconut coir. But this isn't how you have to fill a worm bed. And before somebody says, oh, he spent a ton of money to do this. No, y'all, back whenever I was actually making great money, which I make good now, but back when we had a trucking company, I bought this years ago in compressed bricks, dried compressed bricks. They're only about yay long and about yay thick. And it fills this whole wheelbarrow up. So I bought these 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah, I'd like to say 5 years ago. And they've just been sitting in our spare room for quite some time. And it wasn't very expensive 5 years ago as it is now. I don't really know what the market price is now, because I knew 2 bricks would be enough to start this bed, and if not less. So this may keep swelling, but I'll get to the whole video. I just wanted y'all to know that I finally have repurposed one of the scrap refrigerators that my neighbors probably think is an eyesore. But the reason I'm not happy with the whole drills. Now, if you're not gonna do what my daughter and my wife are gonna do, I wanted to just put some really big holes here, cover it with screen, really big holes there, cover it with screen, same thing all the way around. But because I had a smaller drill bit, I had to put multiple spaces, because you need a lot of airflow in here in case it gets too hot, and you need to make sure you have enough oxygen for your worms. But my daughter and my wife are gonna repaint this. It actually looks like a wooden box I've painted white. Wouldn't you agree? But my daughter's gonna paint one side, my wife's gonna paint the other, somebody's gonna paint the front. Then again, they may argue who's gonna paint which side, but they're gonna decorate it, make it look more prettier, and they'll argue over that front cap probably. But I actually have another refrigerator right over here that I'm gonna do the same thing with. But what I did after that was that same window screen that I used here, same exact window screen that's under this hardware cloth, is sitting in the bottom of this refrigerator. But I took rocks, gravel. You can buy bags of gravel. Luckily, I have a huge driveway, a huge circle drive. I'm trying to clean all this back up so it looks the way it did whenever I first made the driveway. But luckily, I have an excess of nice sized rocks. So what you want to do is you want to fill the bottom of your freezer or your refrigerator with rocks. It keeps all the really dirt, grime up, and the rocks filter it to where it doesn't clog up your drain as bad. That is my assumption. I'm not real sure, don't quote me on that, but if I was to guess, it'll work like a filter. All your coconut coir, your brown leaves, any decaying matter that you're gonna put in here, groceries, you know, from your house or whatever, they stop at the screen. The moisture sifts through the screen into the rocks and then out the drains, which I have 2 drains installed on this one, and I pitched it to where it goes towards both drains. And yeah, so hopefully everything works out as planned. But y'all, it doesn't take a lot of money. I got these refrigerators from my brother years ago. I want to say 5 years ago. Same time I got my 4-wheeler. I have a scrap pile, and even the 4-wheeler was from a scrap pile. And we invested little or nothing to get the 4-wheeler running. And I've been sitting on these refrigerators for quite some time. And I've always wanted to have composting worms, fishing bait by the pounds, and worm castings, y'all, is another thing. Plus, you can collect from the 2 drains that I have. I may add a third. You can actually put a jug underneath or a tube that you can put in a jug. And when it gets all the way full, cap it. You can sell that for worm tea almost. It's not exactly worm tea because that's a process of putting the oxygen into the tube, you know, into a 5-gallon bucket with a sock of it. But I think it works the same. It'll just be really powerful. You would definitely want to mix it with a whole lot more water if you get it straight from the worm bed. But that's a powerful fertilizer, y'all. You do it how you want to. On your property, it's yours. You do what you want. It can be somewhat like somebody else's with your spin on it. It can be identical to somebody else's. It can be crazy, extravagant, expensive, or it can be budget friendly like your boy Maniac likes to do. But let's see the inside of this. And there is the coca coir. As you can see, it has taken quite some time just to get it, and it's not completely wet, but y'all, this is just a 10-pound brick that just keeps growing. It just keeps growing, y'all. Closer version, window screen, and then hardware cloth, and 4 big head little screws. And there it is, regular old driveway gravel, y'all. But it's just enough to keep all of my bedding up so that the water can drain. But y'all, that's the greatest thing about your stuff. Nobody can tell you what to do with your stuff. We're all about budget friendly and doing it your own way, learning together. I do have to admit though, out of a 10-pound brick, this is a very large wheelbarrow, y'all. And it's almost filled it. If I'd have put 2 in here, it'd be running over. This is the cardboard that wrapped up all that window screen, y'all. Worms eat wet cardboard. Now this is pretty damp, so it's gonna wet the cardboard. It's also gonna work for me to put more down before it starts to bleed and really bad through. This cardboard will be just as edible as this coconut coir you see right here in this wheelbarrow. Please click like and subscribe. I sure would appreciate it. Put in the comments what you like, what you don't like, where you're from, anything like that. Shout out to your boy Maniac. I mean, come on, y'all, help him out. We're on our way to 1,000. Hopefully we make it. We're close, but we're not there. So you want to mash it and get as much of the moisture out as you can. Maybe not all of it, but this is extremely wet. And just toss it in there, people. And hopefully this content's not too boring for y'all. If it is, I apologize. But people keep saying, well, you're doing all this stuff and not showing us. Well, I work a lot, y'all. I do work a lot. It made quite a bit of coconut coir. Holy smokes, that is quite a bit. Now, could I leave it like this? Yes, I can. But I'm gonna go ahead and soak the other one. I had every intention of putting 2 in there anyway. I mean, I would have bought 1 20-pound if I could have, but I didn't. Second batch going in, less water, but it's still pretty wet. I'm gonna mix it up a little bit and put it in there. Trust me, there's definitely enough worms in here. Definitely, holy smokes. But I've been raising them under my rabbits for a while. But now it's time I start collecting. Look at all those worms. Unreal. Look at all the worms. Y'all see all this? Just piles. Piles and piles. Yes, I will definitely have to add more of this really fast. Because if you look down here, there's just as many. Look at that. Unbelievable. Doesn't matter, y'all. We raising worms, baby. And I'm sorry about all the heavy breathing, but it's a long ways to my rabbits, all the way back to this worm bed. So I really apologize for that. I know people hate that. I hate it too, so I get it. So overlook me heavy breathing that time, if you will, because to go get this many worms transplanted, I mean, I only have rabbits for meat, fertilizer, and urine, and red worms. 4 reasons why I have rabbits. Rabbits are a multi-tool, and now the worms, they're multi-tool as well. You can sell worm tea, you can sell them for fishing bait, you can sell them for composting worms, and you can sell the worm castings. And maybe there's a 5th. Somebody may buy them for feeding their pest or whatever. But y'all, look at this. Super proud. It's ready to go. Probably more worms than what I need, but y'all, guess what? I want them to grow up and be really big, really fat, really fast. And we may be selling some fishing bait if we have to. But I turn worms loose in my gardens whenever I have to. But luckily, this place is slap full of compost and red worm, red wigglers all over my property. So I just wanted to make them readily accessible. Get this worm bin going, then I'll build the next one, get it going. It's not the prettiest thing in the world, but everything I do has a benefit. It has a reason. It's 30 inches wide, 58 inches long. That's the size of this refrigerator. It's gonna hold a lot of worms. 20 pounds of this coca coir, only got it to about 1/4. So 2 more would put us here, 2 more. I bet it would hold 40 more pounds. That's what I think. And we'll eventually add to it, but we may use our own leaves and stuff like that. I just had this for so many years. I planned on using it years ago. I've been mad, kicking myself in the butt. I've been telling my buddies at work, this is what was gonna go down. It's went down, fellas. If you watch this video, I'm fixing to start being able to handle them all without digging through a whole bunch of rabbit poop and being under rabbits that wanna pee on my hat, y'all. They wanna pee on my hat. But this concludes the worm casting deal. I'm gonna put the lid back on it, set the board that keeps it from warping, and put the brick on it. I was gonna put hinges. I do have holes for hinges, but there's not really a whole lot of holding wood, as you would say, in a refrigerator. Set your plywood up like so. Make sure you have enough lip to cover all of your breathing holes, because you don't want your worms to get any kind of moisture in there. But I mean, it does have a drain, y'all. It does have a drain. But we have a good enough lip here and here. Now, take a really big, heavy piece of wood, like so. Place it on there, because I don't want the wood to bow whenever I put a heavy brick on it. So that's on each side of the refrigerator. Grab yourself a cinder block. Set the cinder block here. And there you go, y'all. Worm bed video, first one in the books. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Hopefully it wasn't too boring. But y'all, this is a part of homestead and farming. Worms are critical to a farm, whether people believe it or not. And residual income, worm castings, the poop, y'all. It is a super fuel for plants and vegetables, all in your garden. It is one of the most sought after fertilizers you can ever get your hands on. We're gonna have super fuel for our vegetables and fruits and everything. And we're gonna have fishing bait, composting worms, and some worm tea available soon. So do what you do. Get up, get outside, get to doing something. I'm your boy Maniac. We out.